My Life in Letters. This should be episode 10, I believe, if everything works out right. And I am sitting right now in the kitchen of the house of Ricardo Ritchie, also known as Apex-er.
Boom, boom.
Apex 1. Do you ever write 1?
No, not anymore.
But you put the 1 for like anytime I get a chance to nail someone down, especially in their home. I'm having a hot cup of tea with Apex-er on a cold Frisco night. So thank you, because it's like real generous to spend your time that way. So we were just talking before we started recording that I'm doing this podcast to document this culture we're in, to try to really kind of look at the small details, because we were saying that sometimes it's the small things that actually really make the big change. Not necessarily the biggest like pivotal points in like graph history. Sometimes it is just the little stuff that helps build a culture. So for you, dude, I mean, I've known you for a long-ass time, since the mid-'90s, early 90s. You grew up in Daly City. And so what I try to ask a lot of people is, before you ever knew anything about graffiti, I wondered if there's ever lettering that inspired you, type of any kind, if you had even thought about typeface as a little kid, or just whatever it might be, that was your first, like, experience with lettering.
Well, just to clarify, I grew up on the San Francisco side of the San Francisco Daly City border.
Damn.
I grew up in Lakeview.
Your parents' house? They still were the same place, right?
Yeah, that's on the corner of Lakeview.
Okay. Yes.
Like the freeway cuts it in half.
Okay.
There's actually another sub-technical historical term for it. But
dude, I always thought that was Daly City. My bad, dog.
No. Daly City's right over the hill. And then that was always like a thing, like especially when they changed the area codes.
Mm-hmm.
They spilled over to where we were, and my folks made sure to call them and be like, no, we're in San Francisco, so do not change us to the 650 number.
No. Oh, okay. That was when it was going
like,
650.
Yeah,
okay.
like we got to keep it 415.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember as kids, we were like, yeah, like, fuck that. Like, this isn't Daly City.
So, sorry, just you clarify, you were Frisco cat.
Just clarify.
You were Frisco cat.
100%. I don't want anybody, you know what I mean?
Dude!
We're talking about writers here, and I don't want anybody like,
yes,
I
sir.
knew he wasn't from here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm just ain't having that.
Okay. So you're a little kid. You're a
little kid, basically.
What do you remember?
Third grade. It's around that time where, like, both my parents are on the artist side of the industry of society of having a job, and I would always see, like, in third grade, I would see my mom's just like doodling while she was on the phone or, you know, whatever. So I always saw that, and then
what would she doodle?
She would like make patterns, like old school, just make patterns.
That's what my mom did too. My mom actually did like this circular scribbling thing, but she did it fresh, dog, and she would do layers of it and make stuff.
Yeah, it's just something like while you're on the phone or while you're waiting for food to cook or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She would like make patterns, and then she would blow that up and actually, you know, like all that old school way of like hand making stuff, you know. You know, you can't fast forward to, you know, my little like micro thumbnail sketches and how to scale it up onto the wall and all that. But it was that same time period, like third grade, and then...
So you're 9 years old, basically.
Yeah, 9 years old, and then a guy in school, his older brother was like in a mission gang, and like one of those like mission gang writers, and he had a streaker. So we was just... getting bused to and from school, we would just like write on the back of the bus. You know, the yellow school bus with the swoop back.
Nice. With
the green, you know, the forest green, 100 green seats. And then we would just write on the back. And I remember like the first one was like a split white orange streaker.
Oh, dang. And so hold on, you're 9 years old, third grade. What year was that?
87.
So in 87, you had a streaker put in your hand.
87 streaker in my hand.
And
on a school bus, though.
Before that, before you even got there, was like I've had people say that cursive was something that they were into.
No.
Comic book, powwow,
No. I was pure abstract kid. Actually, one of my first drawings is still at my parents' house. It was with an oil crayon back then, black. And I just kind of, we're not even knowing it, I kind of like did the powers of 10, you know, or like, or like when you break down like the Fibonacci sequence of the squares, you know. I did like my own little version of that. And
your parents, did you say that they were like, you said they were on the artist side.
Artist side of social. Like something like my pops is an engineer. And then my mom, she was like high soprano singer slash her like regular day job that she would do was.
But she was a singer and wanted to be an artist.
No, she was a singer and she flat out like. But this, I'm talking about like classic Americana. You know, so she would sing. You know, learned that professionally. She was like that all American kind of mom. You know, like crazy. You know, went to school, culinary school, and then you know like would also from scratch make patterns and
make patterns out of fabric.
Yeah, make patterns, like sketch it and then blow it up, make the pattern, paper, cut it, and then boom, boom, boom. Next you know, you got an outfit. She has her own outfit. This is that classic Americana.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't any like, oh, the newspaper or, no, I was just a kid that was just full blown imagination, play, do whatever I want. I wanted to be outside more than the inside. And I wanted to be outside like playing and not so much paying attention to, you know, I'm talking about the era before video games. You know, like my age, video games came in while I was a kid. You know, the home systems.
Yeah.
But
yeah, mid 80s.
Yeah, for me it was just kind of like, oh, I'm drawing, and then like, well, wait a minute, you know, like literally, wait a minute, like, well, I have no more paper. I don't want to disturb anybody. Also, a little bit of laziness. I don't want to move from where I'm at, so I'm just going to draw on the wall next to me in my house. You know, and that's what I did. And from there, you know, this was, what do we say this is, 87?
87.
So 87, you know, San Francisco was getting destroyed.
Yeah.
It was mad bombing.
Were you seeing it?
No, that's the thing. I was seeing it, and especially in that neighborhood, all the underpasses, you know, we're talking about Mission here. You know, like all the underpasses were destroyed with hollows and tags and you name it. It was all over the place. And I remember seeing it, and then this kid, you know, something I saw and didn't know what it was. And then this kid in school, Christian was his name. Don't remember what he wrote, but his name was Christian. And he was just like, yo, check this out.
You talk like that?
And yeah, straight up. And he put me on to like, he was the connection of like, oh wait, that's what I'm seeing on the street, and he's doing it.
No, I'm sorry, was that the kid that helped you get to that streaker?
His older brother, who that was a writer, gave him the streaker, so then we had a streaker.
Was Christian 9 also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same
His
age
brother
group.
was
Whoever.
13, but I mean like
I don't know.
a few years older. Okay, you didn't even know?
I never even, it was just like, oh yeah, my brother.
But you knew
this.
you knew he did graffiti.
His older brother, yeah, he did the stuff I saw on the street.
So, dude, when you're 9 years old, like, what was your understanding of graffiti? Especially if you're seeing gang and what was your understanding of it?
It was just something that somebody was doing.
It was just there.
Remember, before I understood that, I was just a kid that was like lazy and didn't want to get up and get more paper. I just drew on the wall. There was no right or wrong. It just was the essence of what was in front of me.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I had an oil crayon and I had a wall.
Do you remember liking it or disliking it or being scared or being excited of it? Like, what was your...
No, it was just kind of like... This question has a beginning and a modern day answer to it.
Yeah.
The beginning was just something that gutturally, it was just like, that's it. Period. That's dope. Intriguing.
Yeah.
What is it? I want to do it. It started my journey. You know, I'm still on that journey.
You knew then?
Yeah, it was like first thing.
That.
First thing, it was just like, wow, this wall is loaded up with like hollows and fills and tags and different styles. And this is, I'm talking, 87, it's old school.
Yeah.
And it was just everywhere, and it was just something that it was the first time that the outdoor adventure came to my doorstep.
Nice.
Because I was always that kid looking out the window.
And you said you were drawing on the wall. What were you drawing at that point? Like what kind?
Like I said, just abstract patterns.
All abstract patterns.
All abstract patterns.
Because that's what you were seeing your mom doing.
No. It was just like, no. It was completely just like letting it flow out of me.
Okay.
You got a coloring book. It's telling you, here, color this little goofy character, or here, color these building blocks, whatever. All right, that was telling me to do that. So now I'm just going to... What am I doing? I'm just drawing on the wall.
But you never drew characters or...
No, because that's what it was already provided. It was just, why am I going to draw what was already there? Like, no, I'm not trying to perfect that.
Yeah.
I already have it. I'm trying to find something else. At the time, this is all guttural that was what it is. I can now talk about it and say that's what it was. It was just a kid doing. The
Right.
essence of the purity of just doing.
Yeah, and so you're seeing gang graffiti, you're seeing other graph, and by '87, for people that don't know, there was a real established scene here, a real like definitive style and multiple styles, but like there was like very unique San Francisco look. So you were seeing that. Then you were hanging out with Christian, and he got you guys a streaker. And where'd you say you were putting up those first tags? Back of a car?
No, back of the school bus.
Back of the school bus. That's
Yeah,
right.
because we're in elementary school, 3rd grade. You know?
Yeah, so you're 9 years old with a streaker in the back of the bus with your homie, and you're writing on stuff.
Yeah, we're writing on this, then
What were
we
you
write on
writing?
the window, then we sort of, anywhere our little path was, that streaker lasted us a minute.
Yeah?
Like, oh, yeah.
You went through that
Yo,
streaker?
what's up? We're going to the playground now. You know, little young kids like, oh, we're all going to go to the playground and play kickball.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to fall behind, and then we're going to write on this pole, and you know, it was just little kids.
And you said it was split. What was the color again? I mean, I have it recorded, but did you say orange and white?
Yeah, it was orange and white. Yeah, you know that sherbet orange and white old streakers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's classic. So, okay, and do you remember what you were writing with that streaker?
No.
No, nothing at all?
No.
What
It
could
was
it have been?
That year was so fast forward. I remember right after, but initially, no.
You don't remember the first things you put up with that streaker?
No. I mean, this is raw. Right
Same.
after. No, because
You
I think I
said
was just doing my nickname. Like just Rick. I think it was just Rick.
Yeah.
And then immediately he was getting dropped all this knowledge from his brother. And then he would bring it to school. So he had the privilege of having it at home.
Yeah.
And then I would get it from him. So then it was like, oh, you have to have a name. So then I chose Take One. You know, yeah,
One?
Take. It was Take. You know,
And
like
so what was that all about?
some name that it just popped up. It was like, okay, cool, Take.
But were you like taking shit at the time? Did you feel like you were taking up space? Like you take one is like pretty deliberate.
I always took whatever I wanted. So maybe that was what it was. You know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
get in trouble later. I wanted it now. Why can't I have it?
Good shit.
You know, I'm a kid in 3rd grade. The why was still present in me.
So that was 87?
87.
87 you started writing Take One.
Yeah. So I never really count any of this because it's a school bus.
Yeah, but this is like I was saying before, the little things, man, they all add up. And I know you believe that already. So it's
Well,
like,
wait a minute. I might be off here.
okay,
Let's redo our math here.
that's the best because like that happens too. A lot of cats, I'll talk to them and it's like, whoa, the chronology is a little, but 87, you're 9 years old.
So
Most human beings are
87 to 96 is 3, and that's 9 more years. 9 and 9, 18. Okay, we're on point.
Good.
All right. Just want to make sure.
Gotta cover the math here on My Life in Letters. We gotta get the numbers
because
right.
the base starts to really fast forward.
Fuck yes.
And I'm since we're going chronologically, I just wanted to make sure we're on the right path. I don't think about this stuff.
Well, good. I'm glad we're thinking about it now. So, Take One in around 87.
Yeah, 3rd grade, 87 for
And
sure.
so-
And I was doing bubble letters on my math tests, and you have to have a cover letter
So-
and all that.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, 3rd grade, the knowledge was like, okay, you have to have the name. You can't write your nickname. Okay, cool. Or why? Oh, okay, yeah, cool. And then it was like, yo, here goes. And now, remember I told you that all I saw was hollows everywhere. You know.
Yeah, and I was just gonna ask you because you said you're doing bubble letters. I'm wondering who influenced those early bubble letters.
So I found out that there was one person in my neighborhood killing it. And it was Sun. S-O-N. And sometimes with a U. It was Sun. It was just bubble letters. And then I found out that, I won't say who, because whatever. It matters, but it doesn't matter. But that was somebody from TMF that had like 3 other names. And I found out like 1,000 years later. I'm like, what? That was him?
It's fresh. Yeah.
Like, oh shit, yo, I saw your, and I remember being like, yo, I saw this, I saw that, and they were like, yeah, we always loved Banner Red, and we always loved True Blue. That's the reason why you always saw those hollows and those colors. And then they were like, yo, you really are from the hood. And you're like, oh, you really do remember this. And I was like, yeah, I was always that kid observing my world. I still am that guy. So those bubble letters, but and that was classic bubble letters. It's not too far from it now. It's just a little more refined.
But okay, and so you were doing Take One bubbles. Do you remember?
No, I wasn't doing Take One. Yeah, I would do that too, but it was like you would turn in your homework assignment for the week, and then kids can do whatever cover letter. So mine, me, Christian, and one other kid, we were always in competition, and then whoever had the best cover letter would get extra stars.
Actually, you said cover letter earlier. I thought I knew what you were talking about, but I thought it had to do
you do
with
your
something
homework.
else.
So
Right.
you do your homework
Yes.
and you collect it,
Okay.
and then by Friday, now you need to turn in all your homework
For the week.
for the week,
Okay.
and then they would do a cover letter, and then you would
Which
go
is
to
what? What was
just a
the
blank piece of paper, and then
Okay.
you have to say your name,
Date.
the date, your
Okay.
class,
And you could design that.
and you could design it, and then you take it to the front, and they would staple it, and then that's week 1, week 2, week 3. School is crap.
Yeah.
And then parents could come in, and then they could say, "Oh, look, week 1 they were getting an F, and then week 4 they were getting an A. Like, wow, yay! Give them candy,
Yeah, of course.
dumb, whatever."
Well, that's what you do for kids when they're doing good, man. Come on, Rick.
Yeah, I guess. It's good. It's good training for them to be good slaves in society later.
Oh shit, that's all. That sounds like a whole other interview, man. Yeah, we could go off on that.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Fully aware of what it is. But
I got a 2-year-old, man.
well, let's think about this.
Yes, sir, I do. Anyway, continue. So you're turning in these things with these covers, and you can design them.
I could design them, and I was like, sick. Now I can do a full page this. Now I'll do these bubble letters. Not to. Also, my sister, if she ever heard this, she would be like, "Yo, how can you leave out the other part?" Which was that I was doing really good at math. And back then, this Americana, they would like, you got a little boy in 3rd grade, just woke up, all this energy. They give you 45 minutes for a math test. I would smash that out in like 5 minutes, like whatever. Then you're supposed to put your head down and be quiet. I got all this energy. So fine, I would lay my head down sideways and then pull out my desk, the old flip desk where you pick up all your shit inside and put it down. And then I would do full-blown color gradations down my math test. The test...
With what? What were you coloring?
With this with crayons. The yellow to orange, red, all the way down. And then I ended up getting an F in the class. And we had to have a PTA conference. All the tests were A+ because all the math problems were correct, but I got an F because I was coloring the test.
What?
So my mom...
Serious?
Yeah.
They failed you because you colored the test?
Yeah. So my mom and the principal said, well, it looks like we need to get this kid some extra paper in his desk so that when you put his... Obviously, he's your best student. You can't just give him an F because he's coloring his math test because they're all correct. So from that point on is when, divine intervention, whatever you want to call it, came into play. And it's like, okay, now I have blank paper. Okay, now I can flex on the cover letters.
What would you put on them besides bubbles?
Oh, that was just like the best thing. I was trying to refine these bubbles, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's right, the third person. So it was me, Christian, and then there's this chick. It's always a girl, you know what I'm saying? It's always a girl. They develop before we do. They all care about their Hello Kitty pencils and shit. So it was a girl that she had like the badass fucking cover letters.
And she used to. Oh, she didn't do graffiti, but she was the third person in your class that designed the cover letter.
Yeah, she would design.
You and Christian and her. Okay.
Yeah. And there was always us 3 in competition who had the best one who would get the gold stars for that week.
Okay.
Because we get some stupid bonus at the end of the month or something.
So what were they drawing? You're doing bubbles. Was Christian doing bubbles?
This is 87. You know what I mean? Like graph influenced all of it somehow. So she had bubble letters. But she would do bubble letters with her fancy her fancy pens and all.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it was this girl, she was the third one.
Was she doing like character? Was she like a regular girl doing like unicorns and stuff with her bubble letters?
Yeah. She had her own version of it. And for me, it was always just like bubble letters and that's what I remember the most. Because I have the bubble letters and then I'm just going to keep going because I already chronologically here what video this was. I know it was on PBS, which is Channel 9 out here. But it wasn't Star Wars. Star Wars. It wasn't Star Wars.
Something else.
It was I can give you a lot of detail here. It was a schoolyard. I want to say it was in Harlem. It was a wall that had the schoolyards where the benches are below the wall, and the person was buffed the wall like a chocolate brown, and then they were interviewing with PBS old school style. And then they did this, and then PBS backed off, and then the person did this colorful piece, and it was bars. And I remember just watching it, and the words didn't even matter. It was just mumble.
You saw
this
a graph.
is how you do a burner.
Nice.
Outline. Oh, the sketch is just like my sketch. Oh, now you put the colors in it, and then now you come back and
Yeah.
do something else, technical, and then now you re-outline,
Yeah.
and as a little kid, done.
Yeah, you learned the formula. Did you? So you saw that on TV?
It was on channel on PBS.
Yeah, KQED. Well, that's what it was down where we were. So you saw this on TV, but had you not seen anyone in Frisco doing graffiti?
This is third grade.
Yeah,
I mean, third grade, 87 was explosive for me. This is probably 88 now.
Okay,
I saw the person.
So you're 9 or 10 years old, and I'm saying a lot of people were going down to Psycho City on Saturdays in '87 to watch dudes paint. You weren't making it down there yet.
No, like my folks were like, you had a Psycho City back then was like not a place you wanted to be at.
Yes.
My folks weren't having that. They kept track of me on that level. But it was.
So the first time you saw graph,
I saw graph everywhere.
Yeah, but it was just there. It appeared.
And then, by my house, there were like certain spots, like Cayuga Park and a couple other like Cuddy spots. And driving by, this kid that always looked out the window, every once in a while I would see people painting.
Yeah.
But
this PBS documentary or whatever it was, news show, you saw like a whole process, a whole formula of how to do it. A whole
formula, like fast forward into this little segment.
And you saw like...
Perfect for a kid.
Yeah, how long was it? A couple minutes? What you
Perfect
saw?
for a kid, that's how long it was.
Fast. I'm curious, man. And this is what I hope. But the other thing, dude, like someone will maybe send me a DM saying, hey, I know what that was.
I've shared this with a lot of people, and it's been narrowed down to a handful of guys in New York. And whenever I've seen two of them, and it's always in a social environment, a big social New York environment, and I always forget to ask.
I also wonder if it's just like, it was an interview that was done, it was a 3-minute thing on a news segment, you know what I mean, that just came and went, because I'm sure that happened a lot. But so you saw that in 87, 88. So now you have a little understanding of how to do it.
Yeah.
Were you still in 88, holding on to streakers, or what was going on then in 88?
So San Francisco, what New York called insides, San Francisco had bus hopping. We didn't have train lines everywhere. We had bus lines everywhere.
Yeah, the Muni system.
The Muni system crossed all over the whole city. And the Muni system was getting destroyed inside and out. People, unlike New York, people going to the yards and painting panels. San Francisco was all about numbers. It was all about getting up. And there was like mad battles and all this other stuff going on. And to tell the truth, writers were, even though there was beef, it was also a lot of like friendly battles, once again, of how up can we get when it came to bus hopping. And that really shaped me. And so if we want to talk about letters, like even I saw how to do a piece start to finish, and that's where I'm at now or whatever.
Yeah. But bus hopper flow and the numbers of that was what was getting you hyped.
Yeah, because that was everywhere. Same thing as New York.
Yep.
Where I put my name on this train, and then now it goes way over here and it comes way back over here, and then now there's something added on next to it, like word.
Yep.
Like in San Francisco it was very segregated. So there was the black neighborhoods, the Asian neighborhoods, the Latin neighborhoods, the white neighborhoods, everything in all the other variations. And you would then start to find out like, oh, that crew writes different, and they're from a different part of town, and they're all this nationality or whatever. So through writing became like this education of like hand style, script, fonts. And a lot of it just came to you, just like pattern recognition. But it wasn't until later in life that I was able to look back and see like, oh, okay, one flow, or, like how somebody might connect their S to the K, or how somebody might connect the, different letters, like that's a ligature, like talking about like in typography and understanding that, and understanding how kids just appropriate things that they see but they might not understand it,
Yeah, definitely.
And then how that will birth something new, which basically is what writing is, Yeah. So for me, it was these insights that held me until like 93.
And so in 88, what bus were you taking the most when you're 10 years old?
What is that train? M28, because I'm leaving Lakeview, so it's the M, the 28, 19th Avenue, and in Judah.
And do you remember anyone in particular that was rocking any of those lines that inspired you?
Not until later.
Yeah?
That time period? No.
88, 89?
Everything that inspired me in that time period was all the streets.
Like what?
Just in my neighborhood, I grew up in Excelsior, so it was like all the TMFs, the CSCs, ICPs, like it was all those guys, the
So like,
But really, I say that because I'm older now and I know that was going on. But at the time,
yeah, you didn't have that understanding.
there was only that hollow was Sun.
So the Sun Hollow,
But that was-
and you were seeing, you said ICP and TMF and these guys, and it was the streets. You said it was
all
getting you
streets.
kind of hyped up.
It was all
so
streets.
it wasn't the
Just
bus.
because-
Even the buses were crushed. That wasn't getting you pumped.
That was like a blur, But because the buses would just go by, it was a blur. I'm a little kid. It was like that was cool, and you gotta remember, I'm still a little kid.
Yeah, I know. You're 10
I'm
years
not.
old.
I'm not completely.
Free to roam, or
No, I'm not completely engulfed by that.
what was engulfing
This
you?
is point A.
Were you
and
into
point-
music when you were
point
10
A
years
and point
old?
B.
Were you listening to music?
Yeah, I have older cousins and sisters and all that, so whatever they listen to, I'm a singular type of person, Like, so for me, it was between point A and point B, I see writing. By the time I got to point B, I don't see writing anymore. I see do your homework so I can go outside and play with my neighborhood friends. And then, oh, look, somebody hit up across the street from my house, and then somebody hit up on the fire hydrant by my house, and
Right.
That's cool. Wow, it's coming into that thing that was over there is coming into my neighborhood. And I started connecting the dots as I got older. But what was most important was I'm a kid and I wanted to play outside.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to play outside and I wanted to have fun, or I wanted to play inside.
Yeah.
Like writing was just like the thing you do because I saw it when I was in transit. So it was the thing I did when I was in transit.
Mm-hmm. To go to that thing that was like some active thing.
Yeah, some
Play
active-
sports.
At that point, it was just like childhood, like playing baseball, football on the street.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, you yell out car, and everybody hops on the curb, and then the car goes by, and you go back to playing. And we had like 40 kids back then, and you don't go past Johnny's house. It was not Johnny, but whatever. You don't
Yes.
go past Johnny's house, and you don't go past Nathan's house.
Right. Got you.
That 2-block radius or 2 square blocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now it's 89. Let's just jump to 89. You're now 11, so you're getting into. Are we in grade school at 11?
I don't know.
No, we're in like 5th or 6th grade. When did you start to kind of like take graph a little bit more seriously in this like late 80s era?
Nah.
Didn't happen yet.
No.
So
No. It
5th grade,
exploded.
6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. What were you doing graph wise?
Same.
Okay.
Just like somebody always had a pilot.
Yeah. So you would catch your.
Had some things on field trips, whatever. We're on the train, we're on the bus. There's so many little kids. It's that little devious little kid laugh, and I'm getting up. And another
Junior
kid-
high. Are you writing take one? You remember what you did 7th, 8th grade?
No, I
What
don't
were you
remember what I did.
Come on, man.
I
What were you?
don't.
Come on, 7th and 8th grade.
Hey, I erase memory for the future.
All right, cool. Okay, you gotta make some space up
I
there.
gotta make space. I erased that time period. You know what I mean?
Well, let's see if we can dig it up, homie. Like when I was in junior high, it was all about Jordan. It was 80. It was a little earlier before you. I'm a little
Yeah.
older than you, but I was like all about Jordans and girls and like cologne.
Yeah, see, I was about all that. I was about the cool skater, the surfer boy who had a switchblade. Like that was dope. There was like all this other stuff going on.
You surf?
I surfed, but that wasn't a San Francisco thing. That was a Hawaii thing. That got me into that. But none of these things really affected my writing.
Okay.
My writing still was a transit thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't until 92.
When you said 93 earlier, so 92, what goes down? And 92,
92
you're a freshman in high school.
92 freshman in high school. Summer of 92 is when now I'm going to a school on the other side of town.
I wanted to ask you that earlier because Rigel Crayon mentioned this thing that's fucking, it was crazy, man. He grew up out in the avenues. No one at his school wrote. Then he met some dudes who went to Wash or McAteer, I don't know what it was. And the dude told him, he was like, oh yeah, Rigel, you just didn't go to the right school to be around the writers. I'm curious, there was Christian. Is there anybody else dabbling in your like junior high?
Well, junior high,
Where were you? What junior high?
I went to Lawton down in Avs.
Where's that?
31st and Lawton.
Okay.
Avenues.
Oh, in the Avs. Okay.
But out there was mad writing going on. There was mad spots. I saw pieces. I saw it all. But once again, this is a transit thing for me.
Right. Okay.
It's all in transit.
I mean, you were going from Excelsior to the avenues for school.
Yeah, I was always wondering where were the best schools.
Yeah, so for people that don't know that, that's like you traverse like a decent amount of city, especially for a junior high kid. So you probably had to take at least 2 or 3 buses to get out there. At least one or two
Two
transfers.
buses.
Okay, 1 transfer, 2 buses. So you're seeing the tags, but it was, again, like you said, it was just something that just you would do a tag when you were going from here to there.
Yeah, because it's boring. You're sitting on the train on the bus.
Right.
You look out the
Exactly.
window.
Yes. So now 92, you're a freshman. What happened?
here goes what you were bringing up about other writers. 92 freshman summer before freshman, around 92, whatever that is. That summer would be
summer before your freshman year.
Yeah. It was like mandatory. I don't know what they were thinking. It was like mandatory that half the city all went to one high school, all the freshmen for entry, whatever.
Oh, to like just like
summer school
orientation or something.
No, it was but it was like 6 weeks of summer.
That's unusual.
Horrible, because they took every set from every hood from San Francisco, and they smashed them all into one school. So
Where
if
was
you
it?
remember,
You remember the school?
yeah, it was at my high school,
Which
of all
was?
places, at Burton, which is in Bayview neighborhood. So all these cultures in all these different neighborhoods, and there was I'm saying 10, it was probably more. There was like 10 fights a day in the school. This was like, what's the movie where they chained up the gates and all that with the principal?
Stand and Deliver?
Stand and Deliver or whatever. Stand by Me or whatever.
Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver.
With Edward James Olmos?
No. The other one where Morgan Freeman was the principal.
I don't know.
Oh, we got to look this up.
Okay,
we got to pause now, and we have to Google this.
No, break it out. That's cool.
Because this was my high school. It was hood as shit, and our doors were chained once we got in because it was mad gang violence going on. And so when I was saying earlier that you have all these different styles on the buses, that summer school,
they all came.
All were there. So it was a free-for-all. Why would you do that? Every bus got destroyed. The hallways were getting destroyed. The bathrooms were getting destroyed. The tabletops in the class were getting marked up.
Yeah.
I mean, we were bad. We were straight out of this movie. The reason why I'm looking for this movie because that key.
Okay.
Hey, drawing on the principal's suit, not the principal, the teacher's substitute teacher's suit, because he was so out of it and didn't know what to do. You know, it was like one of those things. It was, so everybody's always curious about this. So this would be like my earliest character drawing situation. It was in this school, in high school, 9th grade, before 9th grade, and somebody drew, I want to say like a Batman head.
A Batman head?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all they had for the class time, you know, without getting in trouble.
Sure.
And then somebody else came in and drew just the cape.
Oh.
But they didn't render it. So when I got there, I would render the cape.
Okay.
And then next class, somebody else would come in and they draw like the torso. Then I would come in.
Lean on Me.
Lean on Me. That's a movie.
Never seen it. Never seen it. Not that I know of.
Lean on Me is the movie.
That's your school.
That was my school. It was horrible.
Hold on. Okay. Batman head, cape. Keep going with this.
I would render every part that the other person would draw.
Okay.
But this is on with pen on the school desk.
And you guys were going, nice.
You know, and everything was destroyed. The floors were getting destroyed with ultras, you know, and minis and SGs and everything was just flowing in the school. It was like testosterone, graph, writer, heaven. It was on. So here goes your environment, you know, and then down the street you have Silver Terrace Park. And this is really my explosion, you know, like everything before this was kind of like observing.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. I mean, now you're a young man and you're like, I'm out here. And like you said, you mentioned, it's a good thing you mentioned that it was masculine. There was a lot of testosterone. And like that really fuels everybody I've talked to. That always comes up because how much men have done that.
It was all these little kids. There's all these little kids pent up and little girls going through their thing and little boys going through their thing in 9th grade.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious, in that summer school, did you meet new writers that you vibed with in a good way?
All writers kind of got along.
So a lot of the beef was just like knuckleheads and maybe gangsters.
The beef had nothing to do with writers.
The
beef was all the gangs. I'm talking about early 90s here, so this is gang heaven. You have the Filipino gangs all over the Bay Area. You have the Latin gangs all over the Bay Area. You have the black gangs all over the Bay Area. And then they were all beef with each other. And then my school was like one of the big ones in the city. So then you had all the city turfs. And then now we're talking about crack is going on. So then you have older brothers and you're not in high school. And so you have people trying to hide stuff there. You imagine it was wildness going on. So you had individual fights every day. You had Freshman Friday every week. where the seniors would beat up the freshmen, throw them down the stairwell, beat them up, hospitalize them, you name it. And then you had big race wars going on. It was mayhem. It was lean on me, straight up, you know? And but all of that energy to look at it, it's like a perfect pot of nutrients to like birth writing careers out of if you could survive that.
And let me just I'm curious about numbers, right? Because like I started at Soda in '92, but I was a junior. I had 2 years at Soda. So in my junior year in '92, the numbers at my school, there were probably only about 400 of us, very small. That school.
No, my school was like, our freshman class was like 2,000.
Okay, and so then here's the thing.
That summer school freshman class was like 6,000 kids.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's the reason why the school was insane.
Well, and check it out. So in my school of 400 total students, like 300 of them were writers at Soda in '92. I kid you not.
Yeah,
every girl,
because it's
every
art.
dude.
It's an art school.
True. But now let's break it down. You were at a regular school. You're at Burton. 8,000 kids maybe. 2,000 in your freshman year. Let's just talk about that. The 2,000. A lot of writers? There's like a lot of dudes just like scribbling, bus hopping, and
I don't know, man.
Okay.
And like, also my school was the #1 pregnancy school in the city. We had like every hood chick in there that was like, you know, you name all those testosterone things that men like.
There you go.
You know.
Okay.
So you have all these writers from other parts of the city coming there. You had all these other gang members coming there just to get at the girls.
Oh.
So it became this thing of where, and then down the street you had Silver Terrace, where you had, you know, Reefa, Bum, and all these guys doing these massive MPC and all these crews doing these productions there. You know,
were you checking them out? Were you going down there?
Yeah, because that was like right down the street from the high school, so that was like, you know, stomping ground #1. It's like, oh yeah, we got to check that out. You know, like, and I think the other crew was, this is all like MPC and original flavor, and then once again, now you have, you know, talking about that, this is where that like mayhem is all coming into play. Like, so in the park, you have all these pieces and productions. You can see like this is organized. Outside of the park, you have Bum, who is doing these elaborate. He loved flat white and cherry red. Or banner red, he loved that, and black and white as well. Doing these like kind of really elaborate bubble letter throw ups, and you know, with the bubble letter quotation marks off of it, in line, out of line, you name it. He was doing this, and then he was doing it on the heavens, which are the overpasses on the freeways.
That was early too for out here in the Bay.
Yeah, he was doing that with bubble letters. You know, this black dude was just running around doing this. You know, and
did you know he was black and that Reefa was black?
I knew it because I saw them. You know, my high school was in the Bayview, which is like an African American community.
And dude, you mentioned segregated and a couple other, like, talking about nationalities several times. And like, you know, I didn't paint with a lot of black dudes growing up. You were one of a few that I used to go bombing with that was black. So since you brought it up several times, like, I'm curious how race played a role in your graph in these really early stages.
Well, growing up, like, in the Excelsior area, it was always like Latin, Filipino. And I'm biracial. I'm Puerto Rican and black, and everybody out here, San Francisco, West Coast, was like, oh, you're Filipino and black. I was like, nah. But like, whatever. So it made sense that, okay, people thought I was Filipino and black, even though I was Latin and black. So then it made sense that, like, okay, I'm hanging out with the Latins and Filipinos. And, you know, whatever in between. And then we go to high school in the Bayview, and you just have writers, you just have black dudes. It's kind of like, oh, I'm going to do that too. It was that time period. You know, we're talking about, might have been freshman year or sophomore year.
92, 93.
Wu-Tang comes out with their first album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hip-hop was just blowing up.
It was like, blowing up for you? Were you into hip-hop early? I mean, Wu-Tang's not early. Were you into hip-hop prior?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I said, in middle school, you know, I'm into, like, I had older sister. And so I was listening to all the, you know, Two Live Crew, MC Light, MC, you know, I'm listening to everything. Yeah. You know, they're older. And they're going out, they're going to the clubs and all that. So I'm listening to everything. And
did music play much of a role in your graph early on? Like, a lot of people, like they listened to hip-hop, they saw breakdancing, they saw tags in the back, so they just jumped into hip-hop. They were like all of it.
No, it was,
you know,
I never saw it as like this one-to-one thing. It was always just like, remember, like, as a kid, even though I'm in high school now, I just took it for what it was. like, wow, that's dope. That sounds good. Yeah, we're all vibing off of that. And then like, oh, okay, we're vibing off that music at school, and then now we're going to go hop on a bus and go riding. Okay, those kids over there aren't vibing on it, on me riding, but we all vibed off that music. So it was kind of like, you know, it's high school, so it was like wherever the clicks clicked, that's where we hung out.
Yeah, sure.
I've always been, I think most writers are those kind of kids that can traverse the different nationalities and neighborhoods, and, you know, which fast forward a little bit, you know, like, yeah, I'm hanging out with, I like punk, I like metal, I like hip hop, and I'm hanging out at all the different parties as I'm going out bombing and getting up. And just because whatever neighborhood I might be walking through, it's like, oh, wait, here goes that underground punk show. Mm-hmm. Which then, you know, if we're talking about race, it's like, okay, now I'm hanging out with these white kids, and then, okay, here goes a few little, like, other in here.
Yeah.
And then you find out, like, wait, that writing is because they're emulating something that they see on this scene. Right. And then you become friends, like, oh, that's you? Yeah, I've seen you up on the buses, or I've seen you up on the street. Like, okay, classic story of writing and how it, like, merges cultures. But if we go back to 92, 93, it was then that there's this dude, Chaos. Mm-hmm. This black dude, Chaos.
Another black dude?
Yeah.
I had a lot of black writers back then, man.
There
were more. I know.
There was more black people in San Francisco, you know what I mean? Like, what, the census said 7 years ago it was 4%, like, we're probably at 2% now. Mm-hmm. You know, and in San Francisco used to have a huge population.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like a whole other conversation.
Mm-hmm. But it's interesting that you're gravitating towards a lot of black writers. You mentioned Reef.
Well, because I'm in the Bayview.
Now Chaos, true.
I'm in the Bayview, you know, and a lot of people, they were over there.
Yeah.
So leaving the Bayview and then going to Lakeview, which is like another black neighborhood, even though Lakeview actually did.
But so you come across Chaos.
Chaos was like my homie. He was older, and he was kind of like, you know, he was like 2 classes older than me. So I'm freshman, he's a junior. Yeah. And he was just wilding out, you know. He was just like wilding out because he lived in the neighborhood. So he would just go to the hardware store, rack paint, be like, yo, here you go. Here goes some paint, get up. And he always was just like fun, smiling, happy. Mm-hmm. Like, look, I got a New York fat cap on it, you know, whatever we called it. Like, I got a fat cap. And, you know, that's where all that knowledge started like really falling down, like caps and everything. And then.
Do you remember who brought up Chaos? Who was showing him? All right, so, but you were learning from Chaos. He's kicking you caps.
Yeah, he's giving me caps and paint. That's what I was getting from him.
What about letters?
No.
He wasn't showing you anything, or you weren't digging his tags?
I never really took anybody's letters. Mm-hmm.
Also,
I was always like on my own hype with that.
Just jump back for a second. You went to that summer school, summer '92.
Yeah.
Did you pick up did you change a name there? Did you have a tag there? Because you said you got serious around that time, or you started taking it more serious.
Yes, but as soon as Wu-Tang came out.
Okay.
So just before that, I don't remember what it was.
Okay. But right after.
Right when Wu-Tang,
Here we go.
Wu-Tang came out. So November 9th, Wu-Tang came out, and I guarantee you it was probably November 10th.
Okay.
I listened to that album straight through, like on repeat. Same thing I did when Method Man came out. But Wu came out because it sounded so different. You know, Lakeview had like Coog Nut and all this stuff is like what I grew up on. But then like this was like, what's this? You know, Too Short and all that. You know, like very, very Bay.
Bay-centric.
And even when Wu came out and changed up the whole thing.
Totally.
I'm in Bayview, so also RBL Posse, you know, I got a Bluebird on my shoulder. Can I, you know what I mean? Like that also, so it was this mixture of what rap and hip hop was that was my music that I would sketch to and paint to and draw to.
Mm-hmm. And so what was the tag after?
But Wu-Tang came out, and I bet it came out the 9th or the 10th.
Yeah.
I changed up my tag to the Jizza.
How'd you spell it?
Just GZA.
Straight up GZA.
And 93 is when I did my first piece. All right, so y'all, you want the goods. I'm going to line this out if you want the goods.
Was your first piece a Jizza piece?
No.
Okay, line it up.
But my first piece at Psycho City, which would be like the main stage, especially for like a 9th grader, was, I have pictures of this, is a GZA piece.
Dope.
I was so toy, didn't understand how to get the clean lines.
Let me pause you for a second. Did Chaos hook you up with the paint?
No. Remember, I was always that kid that was always looking around. So we went to I had an older sister. She was the one that was into hip hop, going to the clubs and all that. You know, me, she had like 412s in her car, and she was like the one that was like, okay, yeah, wherever you want to go, I'm going to take you. So she was the one taking me to all the yards in Oakland and Emeryville.
Oh, nice.
All around the Bay, San Jose, you know, and she was the one.
Really? You drove as far as San Jose?
Well, because wherever she was going, I was like, I'm going. And then my head is out the window, and you take the flyover on the freeway, and you know to look behind the warehouse, or you know to look underneath the freeway.
Nice.
They're like, yo, get off the next exit. We got to go over here. Like, take me over there. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry, I'll lie for you later when you sneak out of the house or whatever. You know, it was like that relationship.
Nice.
So she took me to Orchard Supply.
Down south? South Bay?
Yeah, like right
like down the peninsula somewhere.
Yeah, like well, there was one that's...
Maybe Mountain View.
No. There's one that's right there just past Ceremony.
Oh, that's right.
On Juniper Sarah up there. So she took me to Orchard. I did a blue to purple fade.
Yo, that purple was nice that Orchard Supply Hardware made.
You already know, Delphinium blue,
yeah,
and whatever.
Dude, Delphinium was dope too.
It was Delphinium and whatever that purple was.
Yeah, it was real grapey.
Yeah, and then I dropped like a black outline on it with like classic like black fade out, you know.
Orchard stock caps.
Orchard stock caps.
Yeah.
They looked like fat caps, but they weren't fat caps. I still didn't know. I knew what a fat cap looked like, but I didn't know the difference of like the dot in the middle.
Terrible, but they did look like a fat cap. That's true.
And I had a couple of fat caps, but them shits were clogged.
Okay. From Chaos?
From Chaos, but I still didn't know like how that clean line was being hit.
So you did a Jizza piece in Psycho City
93.
What wall? You remember?
So just before I did that, the reason why I knew I had to go to Psycho City to do a piece was because this is when TWS was doing the basketball character. And the basketball character, the bottom had just got caked. And it was like that was that moment where Psycho City was getting a little weird. You know what I mean? There was a lot of action for other reasons. There was a lot of action going on.
Yeah.
So drove by it early in the day, bet I'm going to hit that spot right there. Drive out to Orchard, get that paint, come back, had cardboard. Cardboard for my lines.
Cardboard stencil?
Cardboard for my straight edge.
Damn.
93.
Okay.
I wanted clean ass lines. So then we take in...
Wait, how big was the piece of cardboard?
The piece was massive though. This GZA was like 9 feet tall.
Oh, you went huge.
Yeah, everybody else is going big, so I had to go big.
Yeah, and for actually people that don't know, that TWS character you were talking about, that was the first time I saw anybody on a lift. I was like stunned to see people painting in a cherry picker. I was like, what? And it was this huge. I mean, it was 2.5 story b-boy character holding the basketball. He had like huge,
big afro,
huge kicks.
Core shadowing, reflective light, the whole thing.
So you see this huge thing.
So before this, it was that whole thing like, wow, there's TWS.
Yeah.
They were going for a run.
Right.
They were like high school, freshman year. It was like, you got to go down to Psycho City, which was like sick. We're going down there. We're just going to bomb everything all the way down on the buses and then go and check out what the new hype. Which was like international hype too, because it was mad, or national because mad people coming through, LA, everybody.
Yep.
So fast forward, I get paint. My sister takes me down there, late afternoon, we're painting. She's like, are you sure you got permission? I was like, yeah. I just wanted to paint. I didn't give a fuck. Yeah. You know, I still didn't care. You
painted with somebody?
No, just myself.
Oh, okay.
And it was my sister, and I did have a homeboy though that helped me.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
You were on the solo.
I was on solo. There's going to be a side note to this story. It gets deep. This gets real deep.
Okay.
So I started painting late afternoon, and I didn't realize that this was going to take me longer than I thought. Sun is going down. Sister had to turn the car on and put the headlights on the wall for me.
Damn.
I'm painting it. You know, I got a couple milk crates. Like, that was just there. Like, okay, wow, this, okay. Filled it in pretty, I was able to get my sketch up and fill it in pretty good. And then I couldn't get the straight line. And so then I just got the cardboard and just started hitting the straight lines, you know, like that style.
Okay.
And so I immediately knew something was wrong. I need to step my game up, and I don't know how. I immediately knew something was wrong. But the key thing here is my sister was working at a job downtown, and she told her girlfriend at work, oh, my little brother is into writing, blah, 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 blah. I think I'm going to take him out this weekend so that he could go do it. Like a little thing like, oh, look, I'm going to be a big, cool little sister, you know. And the girl was like, oh, yeah, my boyfriend does that too. And So
And that turns out to be who? The boyfriend.
Stop fast forwarding.
Oh, my bad, dog.
So,
my bad, homie.
So at the time, I'm gonna test you with various San Francisco history as I do this.
Oh hell.
This is a little deep dish, but whatever. It's not a real test. It's just playing poking.
All right.
So this girl's boyfriend goes down there. It's 93. His boy goes down there, takes photos, and then she just told him like, "Oh hey, he does it too. I'll tell him to go check it out." So he goes and takes photos of my piece. My piece actually ran for a minute, surprisingly. Jizza. So he goes, takes photos of the piece, and he takes photos of like all the other pieces that were up at the time, all the different styles and whatever. And then the last two photos were of his work, and it was just like all kind of crappy. If you know the character of this person, you know already what I'm talking about. They were kind of like this crappy photos of his work. And then he said, for your first piece, it's pretty good. Let's see how far, keep it up.
Okay.
And I remember getting this photo album like, what? Visually, my work was with these other people's work. Even though it was just photos, it was like, what? And then this other dude.
And it was your first piece?
It was my first, like, main stage piece.
Okay. Wait, does that mean that you've done some pieces before?
I did, like, throw-ups and stuff like that, but,
Okay.
this is, like, piece.
Yeah, and it's
like letters. It's like,
okay.
It made, ninth grader, it made everything else go, like, whatever. And this words of encouragement. I was like, Then I think the next 94, he goes to Brazil, and we always kept track of wherever I painted and whatever pieces I did. I thought nothing of it because I never met this dude. It was always communicated through the girlfriend and sister. Then they broke up, and after the Brazil trip, they broke up somewhere in there. Okay. But I always kept this book because that was my first like piece. Mm-hmm. Then it started I started wanting to track back who was this person?
Yeah.
Then it clicked in my head who my configuring of such. Then at a big art opening, I bring the photo album. I bust it out and I start flipping through the photo album, and I was like, "Was this you?"
Wait, the art opening, the Brazil?
No. This is years later, 2000s.
Oh.
I bring this first photo little book
album
to this person's art show.
Okay.
And I say, "Was this you?"
Because you weren't sure?
I didn't know who this person was.
Oh, I thought he handed you the photo album.
No,
the photo
the
album went to the
girlfriend.
girlfriend, to the sister.
And then they gave to the sister to me. And so, but I put two and two together.
From looking at the photos.
And now this is 93 to early 2000s.
Yeah.
Or early 90s, probably. No, this is 2000s, because now I know the person.
Yeah.
And I go to our show, I was like, "Yo, was this you?" And he goes through it and he laughs. And it was just like, "Glad to see you stuck with it." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
It was Twist. It was Barry.
Wow.
Because Barry went down in 94 to go to his first visit with the twins on whatever thing that was. And then that's when Barry went down there, dropped them with knowledge, and they dropped him with knowledge, and that's when Barry first came back. If you remember,
crazy,
and he was doing the big, I'm going to say it wrong, like the Pachau, how do you say that?
Oh, Pica. But it's the Brazilian style of tagging where they climb buildings and use paintbrushes.
Because back then, they were just using
rollers
3-inch
and
rollers, and
yes.
you get these straight lines.
It's basically Pica
Pachau
or something like that. Yes.
And that's when he came back, and him and KR and all of them started destroying the city with these big roller tags. Like, wow, look what I just brought back from Brazil.
Right. Well, which a lot of
before
people...
the internet, before the magazines and all that.
Yeah, 92, 93, 94. Like real golden era.
So that became that book really made me go, first, painting, I need to step my game up. Two, seeing that photo album was like, I can compare now. In home, I can study my crap to their good stuff. And then based off of, studied this.
Yeah.
From that, then it was like, okay, enter stupid high school things here and there, art things here and there. Okay, anything I can get my grubby fingers on some paint. All right, here, let me test this out.
Still writing jizza?
No. So immediately from the jizza, I went to, cause I'm sketching, you know what I mean? I'm doing pieces, you know, like the sketchbook kids, you know? The black book kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were actually one, I always remember you sketched a lot. Like, you were part of, like, our clique that was, like, drawing a lot. And, like, I talked to a lot of cats, man, they didn't draw very much. It's really interesting. But you did.
I was a black book kid that, I love outsides and buses and hitting streets, still on that, like, point A to point B, getting up. and this is where I started doing like two-tone. This is where I was like, oh, okay, I got to get good.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what were you writing after Jizza?
After Jizza, I went to Nodder.
What?
Nodder.
How
With
you
a
spell
K.
it? K-N-O...
T-T-E-R. Like knots. Nodder.
Nodder.
Because my pieces were all knotted up.
Oh, yeah?
Because I went the crazy wild style. But...
In high school, you were doing wild style nodder pieces.
Wild style nodder pieces in sketchbooks. Because I was a Excelsior kid seeing all the TMF bars and letters, but then I love all the craziness and massiveness of like the TWS style.
Exactly. Because you and I met in like probably, 96? Maybe 95?
It was like right there, 96, 97.
97, 98. So
I met Alex in 96.
Right.
We met and then it was on.
But you were already Apex.
Yeah, I'm Apex by then.
So
before then...
Let's just do from Nodder to Apex.
So
how long did you write Nodder in books? And
it was Nodder, but Nodder, I started taking that to the walls too. But like just neighborhood walls. Okay. So it was Nodder, and then Nodder got short to Knots, or it was Nodder or Knots. And then it was just Knot, still with K, K-N-O-T-T. And then I was like, oh, let me drop that K, let me drop a T, and then now we have Notes, Noter. N-O-T-E-R. N-O-T-E-R. Noter. And then at this point now...
Also, how fast were you doing these changes? Like, was this all in sophomore or junior year, high school? This go into senior year?
No.
96? No, so it's like 95?
No, Apex senior year.
So in 95, you're still playing with Noter that came out of Knot?
94, 95. Because now, here we go, that now I'm in my high school moves, same neighborhood, but the actual school itself moves from one hill to the next hill. Okay. And when it moves to the next hill, now I'm still in Bayview, but I'm out of the Reefa, like Silver Terrace, and now we're at Manziel. And now we're in TMC's backyard. Now this crew I've been seeing upwind, doing fill-ins, backwards throwies, TMC chill, TMC KGM, all this stuff starts really flowing together, which then morphs into ICP, CSC, now we're talking about JDS, which is an all-black crew, and this is still like very formative letters. Why, how to hold the marker, on what angle, what kind of marker, how to juice the marker, how to split the marker, how to wait for the bus to stop and what panel to hit. Oh, you got a brand new back panel. This is where I became like the little son, the little brother of all the, and this is where I became, my life as a writer has always been, I was always liked by the craziest motherfucker from the craziest crews. And I always became like their little brother. And then that allowed me the freedom to explore style deeper. So I was down with like all those Excelsior crews that people were like, how are you down? So
you were chill with them or you were writing them?
I was chill with them, writing with them. So then...
But writing their crews?
All the Usas, all the Samoans adopted me into their fam. And I got down with them. So I'm writing their crew.
Was it a Samoan crew though?
It was all Samoan crew. All Samoan crew. Like, and they were always like, they wanted me because I was a little maniac kid.
But those dudes were probably some gangsters.
Oh no, they were all gangsters.
I mean,
they were all the gangsters that would hang out on the corner of Mission and Geneva, and they would jack everybody on the bus. They would pull the bus line off. They would tell everybody to get off the bus. They would jack you for your shoes, your jacket, your new starter, if you have a new
CD player, whatever.
Everything. Give me that.
Yep.
You know, like I haven't even talked about the violence that I saw in high school.
So you're writing Noter for this KY something crew. That was
I'm writing Noter. Yeah.
Noter, KY, whatever.
Yeah, I was straight Excelsior. I was like these two crews. I really need to like think about this for a minute. Yeah.
Do you remember any of the heads from that crew that were really like doing it? But do you remember who put you down?
I remember their real names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. But you don't remember
because the Samoans are family. It's family.
Yeah.
You know, writing once again was something These were like guys that were so massive for high school kids that they were running around laughing as they're beating you up, stealing and writing, like choking you out. They just took your marker, they're choking you out, and then they're writing up on the window with your marker for you to see it. And then they hand it off to little old me, and I'm like, no, don't hand it to me. That person's going to kill me because I'm not your size.
And dude, people out east have no idea how hood San Francisco really is and was. Like, people don't know. People think this
hood.
Hella hood. And people don't know that. So I'm glad that you're talking about it, because especially some of those Samoan crews.
Yeah, there was,
So,
I was writing like all those Excelsior crews.
and this was 94, 95.
94, 95. And then
about
from
to go into your
Noder,
senior year.
So TMC, this was this year, Spy, TDK, TMC crew, Monks FC. There's these moments where the city culture shifted. And so for insides, for bus hopping, all the bus shelters where people would wait for the buses were all these big 4x8 panels put together, 8x8 square panels, some of them 12x8 window panes. And back then they were crystal clear. So Spie, SPIE, beautiful one flow. I can still do it today. He had an ultra wide scriber that would scratch into the glass. I know other people call it scratch graffiti and all these other dumb names. Sorry if I'm stepping on anybody's toes, but my culture, it was a scriber because you're scribing into a surface, not just painting on a surface. And so he had this ultra wide, and nobody could find out what it was. And then one day leaving school, because we're right down the street from TMC's backyard, I'm not trying to give away too much information of what that was, but the Samoans are riding the bus driver. As soon as we hop on the bus, we're destroying the bus. The bus driver stops the bus in front of their house. The bus driver stops the bus because it was getting destroyed, and he was telling us all to stop, and we wouldn't stop. And he was like, I'm not moving the bus until they get off the bus. But it happened to be in front of the TMC member's house, and they were all hanging out in the garage. My buddies get off the bus, and now they take the flat end of a fist, like the palm of their fist, and they smash every window down the side of the bus. And then Spy comes out, and since it sees the free-for-all, and he takes this ultra ride, and he scribes the front side panel of the bus driver, the front panel. And I saw that, like,
And what was it? What was he holding on to?
I couldn't tell. Does this look like a rock?
Oh. I thought you were saying like wood with sandpaper.
Nah. I didn't find out till years later on vacation. I stumbled upon it, and I was like, that, I bet you, is it. Because I was looking for a chopper, which is like a diamond-pointed bit. And we would use that to chop into the glass. And then I came across the knife sharpener blocks. And that's what he was using to do ultra scribes. And it was like,
Spy TMC.
Spy TMC.
It's fresh.
TMF.
So,
TDK,
this
FC.
is 95 and you're a junior in high school.
95.
And you're still pushing Noder.
So this is 94, 95. And then, this is the summer of 94, 95 now that we're talking
So you're about to go into your senior year?
No, going into my junior. Because we moved
to the new school.
New school, and they had to do the whole stupid summer school thing.
That happened every summer?
Well, no, because now we're mixing the bad school with the good school. So now they needed to do summer school to make sure that it'll work. Of course, there was chaos. Every corner, somebody's getting ass beat.
Wow.
So now this happens, and there's just pure chaos going on. And at this point, I changed my name from that to Apex.
So that was in the summer of 94?
So 95, I changed my name to Apex. It was just the word I came across in school, and I was like, wow, that's some hard letters. That's sick. If I could ever master those letters, I'd be dope. It was a stupid high school.
So it was like just a high school vocabulary word or something.
Yeah.
You came across it in a book or whatever.
Yeah.
And you were just like, that's dope.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, everybody got S's, and they got this, and they got that. I wanted to be different. I wanted to stand out. There wasn't that many X's.
And A's.
And A's. So I was like, oh, word. You know, I can go down a list right now of how many S's
Of course.
and
E's
and
R's.
R's and R's.
So
and there was so many of those that I wanted.
So in your junior year,
You
started writing Apex.
Yeah.
And were you still writing that Excelsior, that Sunnydale Samoan crew?
I was on so many crews at the time. People call me crew hopper and all that. But then at the same time, I was down with everybody. So then everybody was calling me crew hopper, wanted to get in the crews I was in. But the people in the crews weren't really hating on me being down with the crews. But dude, GF was the name of the Samoan squad.
Yeah.
GF. KY, I don't know. I can't.
That's okay. And GF went like kind of all city. Those dudes did it on the music.
Yeah, I was GF.
So you were writing GF, but you were writing a lot of crews. And actually, it's interesting, dude. And I think it's a place where we could actually end this interview because that's it. Part 2 has to happen. So we just did from 9 years old to Apex.
Yeah.
Our next interview will be like Apex to Apexer 2016, I think. Because check it out. What's really interesting, dude, you just said this thing about you were crew hopper, term we used to use out here in a bad way, but you were just cool with everybody is what you said. And that's something about you that's always been true. Like I had so much beef when I left this city, and we were writing together. You never had any beef. You never had any beef, dog. And it speaks to like how you handle yourself, how you handle your business, and that you know how to like separate things. And so anyway, I think it's actually kind of an interesting end to this part 1 of this interview, but I'm still like amazed that Apex just came like out of a book and it wasn't given to you or you didn't see anything. You just were like, that's a cool word.
I like the P and the E. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fucking X. Well, I can flip it with a CS, a KS. That's cool.
Yeah. And were you like bus hopping it?
Yeah, I was bus hopping it. I had the straight one flow.
Small letter to big letter?
Yeah, I had the straight,
Okay.
Yeah, I messed up the C on that, but
but that's basically it, though.
Yeah, that was it right there. Lowercase a, P to the E to the C to the S.
I mean, I remember it, and because I had like a pretty strong, like I knew of Apex early, like it was, and then we just talked about it. I think it was about 97.
Every major transit line in the Bay Area, I'll keep it at that. I was scribing on them, getting up on them.
Yeah, man. As you are still getting up today, maybe not scribing on the bus.
No.
But we see you.
Try to paint as much as possible.
Dude, and you do. And so, this is actually interesting, dude, because every interview I've done so far, I'll get to about 45, 50 minutes, and I'm like, oh, shoot, we better take care of the last 10 years of their life. We're not even going to do that today. We're just going to stop junior year, which is cool, man, because, that the history we just went through, like, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I also really you were digging up stuff. I could see your eyes going, dude. Like, you're like, I haven't thought of this in 25 years.
Yeah, I don't.
It's fresh.
I'm a futurist in that regard,
Yeah.
I'm all about, how can I build to go forward?
Yeah.
It's good to go back sometimes,
Hell yeah. And you know what? The one thing I will do that I do in every interview is I ask people to just tell people real quick how they can find you online, how they can hire you, how they can see your work, whatever it is.
You can go to my Instagram account, which is at Apexer, APEXER. Through there, it'll shoot you off to my website, which is theapexer.com, TheApexer.com. And if you're on Twitter, Facebook, same thing, Apexer. I kind of keep it the same throughout.
Dude, like I said at the top, thank you for taking the time. Thanks for having me in your house. That hot tea.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're the homie.
Thanks, homie.
Yeah, dude. All right, man. Thank you. Peace.
Yep.
You have been listening to My Life in Letters, a podcast dedicated at documenting the stories of graffiti artists. My producer and engineer is UZIEGO, and my name is Adam Fujita. Thanks for listening.